Gentlemen, you're back.
Yeah.
Right into surgery land. Sluice Fox,
Hey.
how are you?
Not too bad, and you?
Not bad. You happened to notice in a comment section that people said we had the rams on incorrectly, correct?
Yes, I did see that.
Viewers were noticing that we had these lower rams installed in the wrong way. What was wrong?
The lines are on the top, like you can see right now, and if you're reaching down into a pit, the boom's going to hit and squish this line. They need to be upside down.
So when this arm extended and goes to reach down below, it was actually going to bump into those brass lines there.
That's right.
Crazy. Good eye on that. Thank you for catching that.
Left was on the right, right's on the left.
Shout out to the viewers for catching that. Kevin, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good to see you, man. What do you think of the KOBELCO?
It's epic.
It is, hey?
It's epic.
We've been working hard on this, and I was a little worried about the color of the machine, Kev, with the brass and the blue. What do you think?
It's beautiful.
Is it acceptable over the yellow and orange?
Oh, heck yeah.
Now, a few things that I've done off camera you guys may not have noticed, I'll let these guys struggle in the background here, is I have installed these lines. Now, of course, with these are very high pressure lines. I have to heat them up, get them onto these nipples just perfectly. I just said that out
You
loud.
said nipples.
Yeah, I did. And trying to turn these on there, I had basically purple thumbs for about 3 days there. These boys working hard. Rookie.
Sir.
Unlike you to be so concentrating, I see that you're working on the chamfered pin that we got in there that we struggled to get in. Is it coming out?
Oh yeah, it's out. I've already got the arms
got
kind
a
of
flip.
swapped.
Excellent.
Try to get by the lines.
It's just, yeah, with the lines on there now, it's not as much finger room.
Yes.
If I lift, I'll give you a little more room.
So of course what they're talking about are these lines that I've already done. Comes into an equalization block right here. These,
Need a pair of pliers to squeeze it in again.
one valve is going to control the flow in and out of these two tubes, which go to these four, which control these two rams right here. One thing you guys haven't noticed yet is that this has actually been painted since you last worked on this. This is one of the mistakes I had made during painting, where I had painted this whole thing blue. Now it actually follows all the way around with that light gunmetal color. A little bit more scale.
It looks really good, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice contrast.
It looks awesome.
Incredible the amount of detail that's gone into this model itself. I'll tell you, it's been difficult for me to wait all week for you guys to get here for me to finish this, because I wanted to get out there and start digging with it right away.
I would have struggled too.
Yeah, exactly, Kev. Hey, no Joe today. No Crazy Joes. What's going on with that, hey?
Oh, real world jobs.
Yeah, I heard he was off pumping some concrete there while we're here building an excavator, thinking of him. Speaking of Joe, go grab us 3 beers, please. We'll have one in his honor, because we know he's watching right now, wishing he was here with us.
Absolutely.
What do you want, Rookie? Olympia?
It don't matter. Beer's beer.
If it doesn't matter, I've got some warm beer I've kept underneath the fridge. Kevin stepping up to the plate. Look at that. Good. Remember, boys, everything's a race for the first hour, and then for 6 hours, you got to sober up before you drive home. So. Oh, God! Oh! He only had 1 sip of beer, and he was already taking his clothes off.
Warm in here.
Oh.
Good.
Rookie, for people that don't understand what I was just talking about, each one of those rams has an in and an out, of course, yes?
Yes. So
So-
this will be your upper
Right,
on both rams.
Right, so-
This will be your lower on both rams.
correct. So one and the other.
Yep.
Using the official lighter of the RC Spark Studio.
I want to put this on first.
Yep,
Because after the fact, I'd be
correct.
really angry.
Yeah, that would be the collar. You just got to get that end bubbling just a little bit. And as Rook knows, you can't heat it too far down the line, or else when you go to stick it on the nip, it'll bend, and then you got a crimp in the cable, and that's no good at all. Nice job, Rook.
That actually went really well.
I am so surprised that went as smooth as it did.
What the heck?
Okay, so these boys are just figuring out right now, and when we went to move this, look at this. This whole thing moves right there. What we need to do is we need to take these out, and we need to use a special type of thread lock, which is for hydraulic thread sealant, or else we're gonna have a leak there. So with this small applier application nozzle there, it's got a lock on it that you slide up and down. I actually ordered this on Amazon. This is probably enough for me in an entire lifetime.
And then some.
And then some. Okay, so next the collars have to go on, but if you look at this, guys, this is an insane way you have to keep these pipes in order. Everything is very tight and close together, but we're gonna have to undo this bottom bracket right here, even though everything kind of comes together and fits into this harness, just so we can get these collars on the proper ones. This one. Sluicer?
Yeah.
I want you to push down on this black bracket where my thumb is.
Except you
Nope.
can't let it spring.
Here?
Yeah.
No, come over on this.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I got to put my finger there. Oh, don't let that move.
Not in your way, am I?
Nope, not at all.
Anytime.
Told you I did things around here. Perfect to get crunched in between those
That
two.
is so tight.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm glad it's done though.
These are 1 2x4s, right?
I like
Yeah,
that there's a
like
clear
that.
shroud around the air filter. That's cool.
Yeah, that was an awesome detail. And all the metal around the filter's perforated as well.
Yeah, I didn't see, is there metal on there? Oh, there is.
The metal
Yeah,
ring inside.
it's a metal mesh.
That's awesome. Rookie continuing to try to get the hoses with the proper ends, but it is not
Nothing
easy.
else getting bolted down on that, is there?
Well, I have done some hydraulic.
There, you guys can see what's going on there. Push, push, push before it cools off. Oh, failure. Get out of the way. Move over. Here we go.
Granted, that may have been one of my OCD moments.
Good.
Curse that.
Got it.
Did you get it that time? Oh, you did too. That's beautiful.
Of course I did. I used man strength.
Oh,
There it is. See, just like that.
shots fired.
There's a lot of bolts holding just that panel on.
There is, all the way around.
Yeah.
It's about as scale as it gets. Well, for kits. This does not look like a lot of work to get these lines in here. Gentlemen, how long have we been trying to put the lines on?
For an hour.
Yeah,
been over an hour.
At least, yeah. Just trying to work it in there. They didn't give us a high 90-degree fitting here with this brushless motor. Instead, we have these straight fittings where we have to kind of bend the cable around like that. So I'm glad we had lots of length here. Okay, and that is done. And then sluice box figured out, look at these. Everybody was wondering what these were to begin with. These are actually, Brooke?
They're jumpers. They're electrical jumpers.
Yep.
These all connect. You lift these up. Feed your wires in from every ESC. Obviously, one will be for power, one will be for ground. You squeeze them down with a pair of pliers,
And then you're done.
and you're done.
So it's like a power block.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to comment on the windows for a second. Look at this. Somebody else was commenting, wondering how I did the windows with not getting the plastic to smoke white. I did not use any CA glue. I used the Gorilla epoxy. It's a clear epoxy, and I only used a little bit on the very outside edges of the window, top and bottom. Same on the top here, you can see. You can barely see that any epoxy was used, but it's in there nice and firm. Now here's the other thing that we've noticed. These are minor things that we've noticed that are kind of weird about this kit, but look at the mirror on the cab on the instruction, and then the mirror off to the side right there. And then let's look at the one on the very back, the one that's pointed down. But then when we look at the excavator here, this one's completely wrong. This should be vertical, yeah, guys? Do you agree? Up and down?
You would
Yep.
kind of think.
Right, because it's just the way it was mounted. It was like it was cast wrong. And then when I look on this side of the cab, it kind of makes sense because you can still see that way, but you
Why
can't.
wouldn't it be vertical, yeah?
Yeah, you can't turn it left or right, so it doesn't. Even if you,
I'm gonna pull it out just to
go ahead,
try it again, but I've already tried this.
but it's all cast. Like you can't move
No,
any
you
of
can't
this.
twist that.
It'd snap.
This could be a builder's tip if you guys are actually building
There's a
this
left
kit.
and a right.
Yeah,
Maybe a
yeah.
left and a right mirror.
Good call.
It's loose may be right though. It may not make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference.
There's no left or right.
No left or right.
So there we go. So that is a mistake on the kit then. Because I know people were pointing it out with the mirrors, saying that we put the mirrors on wrong, but after looking at it, it just looks like they aren't done right.
They were just drilled on the wrong angle.
Exactly.
You're
I
not
can't
adding holes?
add?
No.
Oh, I
They
can't add new holes.
See, these holes really they're just for show, and it
And
screws
it
into
went
the post.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang it. So all the leads have gone into the block. Move your
One more to
hand
go.
like that.
Over here, you just need to shorten this one a bit.
So all three of the ESC positives go into one, and then into the jumper, and then all the negatives are going to go into the other.
That is correct.
Looks like this one is literally giving you the bird, dude.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so the radio I'm going to use, it isn't my first choice, but the one I have here is the Paladin PL18, which is an excellent radio. But one of the things that I like, and you would agree with me, Rookie, I think, is that these side controllers that we're going to use for the tracks are not ideal because they don't have a...
Yeah, for this kind of machine, it'd be nice if they self-centered.
Exactly, if they came back to one. So people might ask, why aren't I going to just control the tracks and movement on one side with the arm and controls? And the answer is simply because there's not enough controls for me to do that. But Rookie, I have seen people click a switch, for example, and then their controls become the sticks.
Yeah, you can set up a mix.
Yeah, but then you can't run the tracks and the arm at the same time. Am I correct?
True, that's true, yes.
So you can't really pull.
Or the other. You
Yeah.
can't pull yourself out of a hole.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you set it up. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take the servos that are going to control the hydraulic block and plug them into the channels so we can center them. You'll see that in the hydraulic block, they've got pins in there that have a flat side, so they're valves. That's how they open and close with these brass collars. You can see that one side is flat. Guys, I need you to make that same noise that you all made when I ripped this mirror off and then I scratched down the side of the plastic. Yeah, that happened, but it's an excavator. It's going to get scratched anyway, so it is what it is. At least I don't have a stupid mirror there anymore.
Well, safety is our 21st priority. So
That
we
is
need
true.
mirrors.
Yeah, we don't need mirrors.
Who needs mirrors?
And on the Fly Sky, I've gone to the display servo setup, so I can, when I move, it can show you exactly which one's moving, right? You can see here, shows the inputs.
Nice.
And a few moments later, of course, the speed of video, the others are in. So main boom, curl, and arm, everything is in there. Moving left and right. This would be our curl valve. This would be our reaching back and forth, and then main boom up and down. Sounds good, boys. Mm-hmm. I think we should put some pressure in there, hey?
Yeah, I
In the front.
need some fluid.
Yeah.
Not enough?
Hydraulic fluid, Rookie. Very nice. Whoa. I get to impregnate the excavator. Hold on.
You could go to town on impregnating that
Thank you.
excavator.
Thank you.
Make sure it's well elevated above
at
any
that.
leaks, but that fits pretty good.
Yep. So that whole back area, I'm glad I could have filled this in with some sort of extra weight, and I still could, but we used some double-sided tape to stick the receiver on there.
Yep.
It's a good spot.
I like how we have lots of room.
Gentlemen,
Works.
why
We need,
the
some
heck
screws.
is there a mirror that faces straight down?
I don't know.
Can anybody answer this?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It seems odd. It does seem odd.
it should have like a little thing to move at least, but what would it be
In
looking
real life,
at?
it would swivel around.
And look at what? Behind him, I guess. Behind him,
As you're
underneath.
swinging, you need to know where your counterweight is so you don't smack into something.
Yeah, I
Like another
know,
truck
but
or-
geez. Okay, I just realized that I made a huge mistake on these lines, and I want to make sure that if you guys are building along, you know this before you do it. These lines right here, they look like they're plenty long, but the issue is as soon as you go down, any excavator operator knows we've run out of line here.
Yeah.
So we just have to cut some longer line so we can fix that problem. Steve brings up a good point, and so does Sluice. Like when I installed it, you can see that it's in the up position and that these lines are way too short. And then where they actually have a piece, they actually have a piece where it shows you how long it should be, and that's how long I had cut the lines. They're somewhere in here. But at least we know that's not the case now. Well, gentlemen, it's been a heck of a day. What a huge amount of wires, cables, everything else that's in there.
Yep.
Have we even tried it out yet?
No.
We haven't even mixed
We haven't
the,
mixed
the
radio
rams,
yet, the rams.
but everything is ready to be done and plugged in. Sluice?
We haven't even fired up the hydraulics yet.
We know the electronics work. That's as far as we've gone.
Here you go, Sluice. 4500. Let me just make sure this is on.
Now we need to set our mixes though first.
Exactly.
Before you power it.
Beautiful. Let's do our mixes. Oh, it's almost ready, guys.
So close.
So close.
So close.
So much in such a small area in there, hey?
It's tight.
It's very tight in there.
No tight
comment.
Okay, so once again, I got to step up to the plate. We're troubleshooting right now on why the hydraulics weren't working. I messed up when I was doing this. I did these wrong. Now, I would think, and it was an easy, it took all of us to understand. Look at this picture right here. The outside goes to the outside. This is inside outside, and this is the inside outside. Go to the left side.
The rams were in upside down the first time, so it makes sense
So
that you would have put
it
them
was
in backwards.
totally
with the
backwards.
lines, yeah.
Suppose we'll have to.
Everything is right. Hopefully that is it. Oh, there's
That
huge
is
leak.
just pouring out of there.
Yeah, there's no
that's
seal
that
in
brass
there.
one.
That's. We need some plugs.
Okay, so what have we, now, no one's been watching because they're all just catching up. They've only seen a few seconds of what's going on. What's happening?
We had a huge leak and we thought it was the copper line going into the pump, so we took it all apart and rechecked all our work, but it turns out there should be a plug in the end of this block
There is a hole on the end.
and it feeds right through.
Is there two? There's a hole on the
There's
other
gonna be a hole
side.
on both sides.
But there's nothing leaking on this side. Why?
Well, we may not have gotten to that point in the ram yet.
Ah. So, but in the instruction book,
I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything.
Nothing.
Nothing pertaining to that block at all. We still gotta get them locks in there.
Yes.
True, but what were you just saying about this?
The picture in the parts list shows that block just like that with the 3 holes in the end. as you
Yeah,
can see.
and you were saying it almost looks like it should be standing up, mounted, right?
Well, in this other image here, you can see it looks like it's mounted in there.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But there's literally nothing to mount it
nothing
to.
to mount it to. No.
But that would have fixed the issue if. with the
Only
leak,
if you would have had sealer in there with it, though. Okay, gentlemen, moment of truth again. Sluice, you watch for leaks, please. I want your eyes on everything,
I'm looking
seeing
right
if
now.
there's anything. You watch that pressure valve. We'll try to get some of the air out of the lines. Maybe the valve.
More pressure than the motor can turn.
No, that's just, we're not getting a lot of.
Did we
Whoa.
top? Oh!
Whoa. Okay, can you go the other way? Yeah, can you draw it back in?
He's working on it, I think
Yeah,
there's too much air in there.
yeah, I understand. No, that can move air for sure.
And we've got the pump speed turned right down now, so.
There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, she's coming to life, boys.
I think I'm out of fluid at that point.
Yeah, okay, let's get more fluid in. There you go. Nice. That's a nice high-speed motor.
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah, more fluid for sure. But we don't want a full tank. We need expansion room.
Let me go a little. Oop.
Yeah, there it is. Now it's full. Yeah, let her curl in there. Can you curl that bucket? There we go. Now it'll draw. We probably have the perfect amount of fluid in there now. Yeah, boys! Yeah! Oh my God.
Woo!
You need to reach that
Right.
all the way down.
Wow. Tell us, communicate, Rook, what's happening?
He's in concentration mode.
Rookie, what's happening?
Just watching the pump.
Can you go down?
Does not appear.
There it goes, there, yeah. There it goes. That feels like that wants to go up.
We've got a lot to go through.
Okay, so we have run into an inherent problem here where we have checked our lines over and over again, and look at that, we're getting pressure just by rolling the motor forward, which would tell us we've got one of our lines backwards, but it doesn't make sense because everything seems to be going. Everything seems to be lined up right. And it is now 5 o'clock, and we've been going since what time today, boys? Around 10:30? Yeah.
30, yeah.
Okay, so it is 6 p.m., gentlemen.
It is.
Yeah,
Quarter
6:12.
after.
We have done everything today to entertain these guys and to get this excavator running. Would you agree?
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
Everything humanly possible that we can think of right now. And what it is we figured out is that the servos, the valve block is so sensitive that when you open the valve, if the servo throws it a little bit too much, it starts to close the valve again.
He closes it and then the pump gets hot and unhappy.
Yes, so we've been working with exponential, we've been working with sub-trim, we've been working with curved linear mixes. That's the only thing we didn't do was a curved linear mix, or a curved mix. We did the linear mixes.
Yes, we've got it set on linear right now.
And so what we're thinking is that it shouldn't be this hard to actually get. There's no pressure relief valve on here whatsoever. And so we're getting maximum pressure in here. It's not staying in the green. It's going all the way past. We've checked all the lines. We have flow through all the lines. Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Yep.
I think we're all full now.
We've gone through everything. There is no air in there. We just have to leave it the way it is. It's a puzzle today, boys, but you know what that means? One more episode for everybody to figure out what the heck's going on, yeah?
And we're almost there. It does kind of run, everybody. It's the hydraulics are moving stuff. It tracks work. It's it's final adjustments.
It doesn't work.
It's final adjustments.
There's no pressure relief valve. There should be a relief valve.
There's no pressure adjustment.
There's no pressure adjustment.
That's what I don't get.
So it's running at max pressure all the time.
Instantly.
This is the other thing I don't understand about this. Look at my RC four-wheel drive one. You see this tube right here is enormous to pull from the tank, and it goes into the pump. The return tube is equally as large, where here is a pressure relief or a pressure adjustment valve, right? That's how I do it. If you look at here, the return tube is so small compared to the giant tube you guys can't see underneath that is this size right here. I could just open the door and show them, yeah. See, there's that big feeder, and then the return line is so much smaller. Sluice, you said it best, man. It should be returning as fast as it's drawing.
The same, yeah.
This is the only thing I see different. Look at underneath here. Everyone's gone now, and I keep looking at it. Underneath here, we don't have that piece, but I have a brass piece that's similar, but it's not a pressure release valve, it's just a screw, but I have a feeling Oh my God, the boys are gonna laugh so hard if this works. This actually is a pressure relief valve. And we thought it wasn't. We thought it went on the tank up here and we're wondering how the heck it would close. I wonder if this is gonna work. Look at, I took the bolt out and then a spring and a little tiny, this is gonna be the pressure adjustment right here. That's what this is gonna do! And then I put in that brass piece. This is going to allow me to adjust the pressure. Oh my gosh. This is why we had maximum pressure the entire time. Oh my God, everyone's slapping their foreheads right now. I totally dig it. Okay, here's what I got, because I thought we were at the end of the video, and you know darn well I'm not a quitter. So it definitely needs a little bit of tweaking, but we have ourselves an excavator. I just got to figure out some of that pump action, and I think a different radio is going to be ideal.